Amanda, is it time for new Democratic leadership in the Senate?
I think we're looking at a moment where if Schumer folds in this shutdown, if he does not actually negotiate a written down, genuine deal that Republicans will hold to, I think he's going to start to hear calls from his own caucus to step aside because he has backed down too many times over the last 8 months. He's got to prove that he's got the backbone now.
Do you view it, Amanda, as largely a political issue? Does he have the right strategy and results, or a substance and ideology issue, as we've seen the party also look towards more progressive planks right now?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think, Senator Schumer doesn't seem to have understood up until this moment that the Republican Party is not a good faith negotiator. They are not good faith partners in governance. They don't want to try and negotiate around the edges for policy. They want to burn it down. He also, I think, is not the skilled communicator we need for this moment. The shtick with him is he's got the flip phone. He doesn't even have an iPhone. I don't know if that's still true or not, but that's actually not charming anymore, given how people get information. He can't really communicate in the way we need our Democratic leadership to right now.
Congressman, you've been in there. You know how it works and how it can be hard. And Amanda's saying that Chuck's not that effective anymore, and it's probably time for him to go. What do you say?
Yeah, probably his Instagram account probably isn't the hippest, I would imagine. And at the same time, you're talking about one of the greatest strategists in the history of the Congress, a tactician's tactician. And we're a long ways from March of earlier this year. A lot has happened and transpired since then. I think Chuck Schumer understands exactly what this administration is about and what his Republican colleagues now are about, just yes men and yes women to this presidency. I agree with Amanda that they're not there to legitimately negotiate. And I think Schumer's now laid down that gauntlet. And he has kept together his caucus, with the exception of maybe 3 votes. They're winning. The people out there understand that it is the president's shutdown. It is the Republican-controlled House and Senate shutdown. It's not Democrats who are forcing this. Democrats are standing up for workers. Democrats are standing up for people who need health care in this country. And Schumer's leading that charge. But I also would like to say, Ari, he's not necessarily the leader of the country. He's the leader of the Senate. He's not the Democratic leader at this point, nor is Hakeem Jeffries. He's the leader of the House.
Who is?
We're waiting for that. We're waiting for that. Well, we don't even know yet. We're waiting for that presidential candidate to happen, and that'll happen over the next year.
Let me jump in, Congressman. You're speaking to one of the debate points, which is some folks are saying that this idea that you wait around and have a whole primary, in a couple of years from now, and find this leader, that the stakes are too high, which, of course, is something Democrats also say, and that you have to start fixing some of the party's perception. I mean, Jon Stewart is not known for his endless Chuck Schumer hate. You can't dismiss him as a hater. He's seeing a punchline in the messaging problem. And I'm going to show you some TikToks where writ large, and again, to be fair, not just Chuck Schumer, but writ large, the Democratic leaders in D.C., this is the reception on TikTok.
I am feeling incredibly angry at the Democrats right now.
Thought about it. I did a lot of reflecting, and it's actually everyone else's fault that I lost.
I'm a lifelong Democrat. It's our party that has left me feeling unsettled.
We don't resonate with the average voter. It's just a fact. Democrats are now viewed as the party of elites.
And Joe, then you say, okay, those are clips, but here's the national data. This party at this moment, more underwater, 30 points or so down than we've seen before. Joe.
No, I see that number, yes. There's no question that we have a lot of work to do. But also harken back, Ari, to my own, loss 7 years ago. Back then, at 56 years of age, I was being called Grandpa Crowley. And I'm sure that many of the same folks who you just showed on Instagram were saying the same thing about me back then. What I think we have, especially as New Yorkers, we have the greatest opportunity ever to have the leader of the Senate, the leader of the House, both from New York. The opportunities they will provide for the state when and if they ever get back into power. And that's a big question, will be enormous for the Northeast and for, I think, blue cities and blue states as well. So there's an awful lot to fight for. I think we don't know who that candidate is going to be. Chuck Schumer's role right now is to win back the Senate, and I don't think he even cares about his own self. He cares more about winning back the Senate for the American people.
So then what assurances can you offer Democrats that they will get a negotiation on this?
Well, I mean, I think, well, I've told them, I've said we are willing to have the conversation. I've said if you need a vote, we can guarantee you get a vote by a date certain. At some point, Democrats have to take yes for an answer. But I agree totally. We are all about getting health insurance down, making it affordable to more people.
So I hear you saying about the program that needs reforms. It sounds like you're guaranteeing that there will be a negotiation on this.
Well, what I'm saying is there's a path forward, I believe.
But yes or
no? But it has to include reforms. And can I guarantee an outcome? No. I mean, and that's what people want to say. Guarantee us that this is going to pass. I can't guarantee it's going to pass. I can guarantee you that there will be a process and you will get a vote.
I can guarantee you a process and I can guarantee you a vote. That felt like a shift to me.
I think for Democrats, it's going to depend on, the president getting involved, because no sort of deal, bipartisan deal, is going to get through the House of Representatives in particular without the president really pushing for it and having that buy-in, right? He's proven to be very influential with members of his own party. He's gotten members of the Freedom Caucus to vote for CRs, which used to be an unheard of concept.
Yeah.
So if they do get a bipartisan deal on this, what Senator Thune seems to be saying is, of course, he can't guarantee an outcome, right? He can't guarantee that it will clear both chambers. But what Democrats are saying is we would like that guarantee to include a guarantee that the president is going to actually be pushing for this actively, because, frankly, he's the only one that can get members of the Republican Party, particularly in the House of Representatives, to embrace a deal like this, which, again, involves Obamacare, right? Something that Republicans tried to repeal for so many years, right? It's not going to be easy to get Republicans on board with this notion of extending a policy from Obamacare, but they do recognize at the same time that the politics of letting people's premiums spike in 2026, a year that, an election year that's going to be defined by cost of living issues. If you add on top of that, your premiums are going to double or triple, or you're going to lose your health insurance entirely because of this, Republicans.
Amanda?
I think it's telling right now that some of the leading Senate candidates in the country in some of these battleground states are actively saying they will not vote for Chuck Schumer as majority leader if they win back the Senate. That his endorsement right now, or his and the DSCC's putting their thumb on the scale, is actually a huge mark against them. Democratic primary voters do not trust the D.C. establishment. They severely understand that the leaders that got us to this point do not have the skills nor the stomach to get us to the next one. They will not be able to get us out of this crisis. Now, I am comforted by the fact...
Well, I'll let her finish and go to you.
Sorry.
Well, I would just say I am comforted by the fact that Run for Something has seen more than 70,000 young people raise their hands to say they want to run for office just in the last year, more so than we saw in the entirety of Trump's first term. So, like it or not, the Democratic Party of the future is not going to be defined by Chuck Schumer. I'll agree with Representative Crowley on that one, but it also shouldn't be defined by him now.
I don't disagree with that notion. The idea that 70,000 people to run for office, I think that's great. I think that's going to rejuvenate our party. We need that. We need primaries. I think it makes people better. But at the end of the day, Chuck Schumer's job right now is to do all he can to win the Senate back. And we have a tough slog against us because we don't have really great states that we're running in 2 years. So that is his number one job right now, as is Hakeem Jeffries' job, to win back the House of Representatives. And we see what's happening with the Voting Rights Act and what they're doing to this country.
And if he fails at that,
I think they both understand the odds.
If they don't win back the Senate in November, then would you look for new leadership, Congressman?
That's up to the Senate to decide. It's not up to them. It's a small crowd.
No, I know. Well, now you sound like a politician. Yes, it is technically up to the Senate. Well, yes, it's technically up to the Senate. It's up to the Senate, but we're having this discussion, and I'm asking you point blank, do you think if he doesn't win back the Senate, should he get another try? Because the question on the table from a lot of the younger members of the party is, why keep running the same people and same blueprint if you're losing?
I think if Chuck Schumer is not the leader, this doesn't necessarily mean he's not a member of the Senate. That's the other point here that you're really getting to is in 2 years. That'll be up for the voters in New York to decide whether Senator Schumer is sent back to the Senate. In terms of their colleagues, that's up to the colleagues to decide. It's inside baseball, Ari. As much as I want to say how someone who's going to replace Dick Durbin is going to vote in 2 years, we don't know.
Yeah, I hear you, and we're running out of time. It's not complete inside baseball.
It's not inside baseball.
Well, we just showed you a lot of people in the country who seem to know that Schumer and Jeffries are in charge, and they're looking at that. I'll give Amanda a final word as well.
Well,
if Amanda can tell me who they're going to vote for Senate, I'll listen to that.
Well,
leadership.
It is such a problem that he is at this moment putting his ego above the brand of the party. The fact that so many young people, and I see it on my For You page constantly, are saying, I don't want to go with the party that has this guy in the front of it, standing, waving his fist fecklessly saying, we will win. They don't think that we are fighting for them because they don't see him as a powerful communicator. They don't see Hakeem Jeffries as a powerful communicator. They didn't see Joe Biden as a powerful communicator who can speak to the issues they care about. So it might feel like inside baseball, but what it looks like is someone putting their ego above the...
This government shutdown reflects bad politics and even worse leadership. What is unfolding right now in Washington shows that the people in charge are choosing dysfunction over responsibility, with Trump and his Republican allies dragging the country through chaos purely for political theater. Let's be clear, this shutdown didn't happen by accident. It is the result of a long-term Republican strategy that treats governing like a hostage situation. Keep the government closed, keep the government floundering, keep the government loose and destroyed, and until the other side caves and gives us what we want. This time, a federal judge had to step in, blocking the Trump administration from laying off even more federal workers. The court called those layoffs likely illegal, even though we know it's definitely illegal, saying that the administration tried to act as if the laws don't apply. And yeah, they do act that way, don't they? And that line says everything about how Trump's team operates, with arrogance, carelessness, no regard whatsoever for ordinary workers who keep the country running, or the law at all. Trump's own budget director bragged about wanting to shutter the bureaucracy, not just pause it. This is a stunning admission from behind the scenes that their goal actually goes way beyond fiscal discipline or negotiation. It's about dismantling the government itself. 10,000 people could have lost their jobs during this shutdown that never should have happened. Meanwhile, Republicans keep playing blame games and pretending to care about national security while blocking funding that would pay the very troops they claim to support. So, the absurdity continues. State Republicans like John Thune are pretending that this is some noble stand for reform. Yet even he can't hide the truth. There is no coherent plan. His so-called path forward is an empty offer promising a process and a vote, but providing no real solution, no guarantee of ending the pain millions of Americans are feeling. Again, it's political theater dressed up as leadership. And where is Trump during all this? Well, he's definitely not in the Oval Office trying to solve the crisis. Is he out golfing, spending millions of dollars of our taxpayer money to play some sports during the weekend? Well, no, actually this time, he's flying around, holding foreign photo ops and acting like a shutdown that left families without paychecks it's someone else's problem. Why do I have to deal with it? I gotta fly in my big plane. Normally, a president would stay home to fix an emergency of this massive scale. Trump treats it just like another episode of a reality show. Plenty of drama, no resolution in sight. Republicans claim that Democrats are refusing to take yes for an answer. Yet there is no yes on the table. Democrats are standing firm for healthcare, worker protections, and responsible governance, while the GOP keeps moving the goalposts and undermining every bipartisan deal. Even fellow conservatives are admitting it. The trust deficit is enormous, and it's entirely self-inflicted by Trump's White House. Who trusts these people anymore? It's a laughingstock. This shutdown has become a mirror reflecting the rot inside the Republican Party, the party that has lost any sense of duty to govern or represent the people. The longer this drags on, the clearer it becomes that Trump's chaos functions as sabotage. And the people paying the price are the same Americans that Republicans claim to fight for. Workers, families, soldiers, and small businesses all caught up in a shutdown that never needed to happen. Thanks, Republicans. Thanks, Trump.